For nearly a century, the Professional Golfers Association, or PGA, reigned supreme as the professional golf league in the world, organising the prestigious PGA Tour, the PGA Tour Champions, and the Korn Ferry Tour in North America, and beyond the USA's borders, the PGA Tour Canada and PGA Tour Latino America. That is until 2021, when a new league dubbed LIV Golf emerged, threatening to disrupt the status quo, and a war for the heart of the sport began, a war waged with money. So, how did this rival golf league emerge? How did the PGA Tour, which had never had a formidable competitor before, react? And more importantly, is the battle finally over? Are the shocking rumours of a joint venture true? Or is the conflict only just getting started? Welcome to Economic View. This is the story of golf's civil war. First, we need to understand the PGA Tour. Though the name PGA Tour was only officially adopted in 1975, the tournament's roots date all the way back to 1916, when the Professional Golfers Association of America was formed as a non-profit organisation committed to the growth of one of the world's favourite sports. The association's flagship competition has taken a lot of names since its creation: the Circuit, the Tournament Players Division, and for a brief period, the TPA Tour before the PGA Tour moniker finally stuck. The PGA Tour is almost a year-round spectacle, with the regular season starting in January and running through to mid-August each year. This period is typically marked by 72-hole golf tournaments almost every week, which include 4 major championships, 8 signature events, and other smaller events, all running from Thursday through to Sunday. The season starts with 125 players in January competing for FedEx Cup points, and by the time the FedEx Cup playoffs begin, which are the final 3 games of the tour, the number of players are down to 70, and then 50, and finally 30 in the Tour Championships, where an ultimate victor emerges. So how much do these PGA professional golfers make, with household names like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy in the mix? It must be big money, right? Well, each PGA tournament has some impressive prize money to be won, but this is shared among the players depending on the points they earned. In PGA golf, you only eat what you kill. The tournament victor takes the biggest cut in each event, with prize money getting smaller and smaller as you move down the points table. And most crucially, players don't get any prize money at all if they don't make it beyond the second round. You heard that right. In PGA events, the total number of players is cut down each day of the competition depending on their points earned. And players who don't make it past the second day don't make any money at all. So to take home real professional athlete money each year, a player has to earn high points in most, if not all, the available events. For top players, the highs are high. The 2024 PGA regular season has more than $400 million up for grabs, with each of the 8 signature PGA Tour events having a total $20 million purse each. The current number 1 professional golfer in the world, Scottie Scheffler, earned over $28 million in just 16 events and 6 wins in 2024. Including $4.5 million from the $25 million Players' Championship purse. This brings his total PGA Tour career earnings to well over $90 million. So is this better than what LIV Golf's top earner takes home? Stick around to find out. Now, while the top 105 Tour players will all likely earn millions of dollars in an average year, with over 215 registered pros competing, more than half of the players end up with significantly less, with some earning almost nothing. Now, knowing that the PGA itself is a non-profit might make this seem fairer, even when you learn that, according to 2023 data, PGA reportedly made $1.9 billion in revenue in 2022, which was an increase from $1.59 billion of the previous year, with the bulk of that revenue coming from media rights, sponsorships, royalties, tour management, and investment income and gains. It's true that most of this revenue was spent on expenses like player prizes, TV production and broadcasting, player retirement earnings, compensation for employees, and developmental spending for the sport, but senior-level staff earnings are significant, including $18.2 million for the current commissioner, Jay Monahan, alone this year. When executives are making pro-athlete money and the pro-athletes aren't, trouble is likely to follow, and that's where LIV Golf comes in. At the turn of 2020, rumours of a potential PGA Tour rival backed by the public investment fund, the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia, emerged. It turned out that they had for some time been secretly meeting with PGA professional players and their agents with the promise of a new golf competition that evolved the sport and the money. This new competition would have 54-hole tournaments with only 54 players, which is the Roman numerals LIV in the name LIV translate to 54. This is instead of the traditional 72 holes in PGA Tour events, with much larger player fields. LIV Golf would also use shotgun starts instead of staggered starts to speed up play, and would have no cut lines for players, allowing more play and more exposure for lower-level golfers. And it would flip many of the other rules of the PGA Tour, with the key difference maker being the payouts. Each individual LIV event has a $20 million purse, where the winner takes home $4 million and 48th place takes $120,000. Remember, in the PGA Tour, players would win nothing if they didn't make it beyond the second round cut. So, this was guaranteed pay for 48 out of the 54 players. LIV Golf would also have team competitions where 12 teams of 4 players each compete for more than $5 million, with the winning team taking home $3 million, second place $1.5 million, and third place $500,000. At the end of the season, each team would receive a seasonal payout, with the winner receiving the biggest cut, which is $16 million, and the last place team getting $1 million. That's a guaranteed $250,000 each for the lowest performing players. This Gladstone approach to the top PGA golfers with such an enticing financial proposition meant several players had already signed on before the rumours of LIV's existence were even proven true. In February 2020, Tiger Woods confirmed that he had been approached by the new league, which was then called the Premier Golf League, but was still trying to figure it out just like everyone else. A few days later, Rory McIlroy, a former world #1 professional golfer, also shared his thoughts about the league, but was clearly harsh about it, saying, "The more I've thought about it, the more I don't like it." Despite the resistance from a handful of the sport's top players, some public criticism, and the innate challenge of taking on the household name PGA Tour, LIV Golf was officially unveiled in 2021. And in March of that year, LIV Golf announced its 8-event schedule to begin in June, with total money up for grabs set at a staggering $255 million total. But most shockingly to the sports world, they announced top names including Dustin Johnson, a 2-time major winner with 24 PGA Tour titles, Phil Mickelson, with 45 PGA Tour event wins, including 6 major championships, Sergio Garcia, who has 36 international tournament wins, as well as PGA long stays like Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, and Kevin Na. And so, in June, the inaugural tournament was held at the Centurion Club near Hemel Hempstead in England, and the Civil War was on. Just as the first event kicked off, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan issued what would make the official start of the conflict, a memo suspending all the PGA Tour golfers participating in the LIV Tour. This was a clear attempt to dissuade players from jumping ship, with the promise of a ban from some of the sport's most iconic courses and competitions. But when players were given the choice between the carrot or the stick, many top names chose the Saudi fund's carrot, including 4-time major champions Brooks Koepka and stars like Bryson DeChambeau, Pat Perez, Patrick Reed, and Abraham Answer, who all committed themselves to play in LIV's second event despite Monahan's threat. Other stars like Woods and McIlroy stood proudly with the PGA, But with such big prize purses on the line, would this prove to be the right decision? Just a day after this mass exodus, the PGA knew it had to pivot and revealed that it would increase purses for its 8 signature events in 2024, a move viewed as an incentive to further discourage players from participating in the LIV Tour. But the fight was now on, and having been hurt by the attack and rich with new LIV Golf winnings, in early August 2021, 11 players, including Phil Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau, moved to sue the PGA Tour for their suspensions. The estimated payouts for these lawsuits, if successful, were in the hundreds of millions, and the PGA confirmed in 2023 that the legal costs of fighting them alone had cost over $50 million, on top of the more than $100 million that increasing the prize pools had already cost them. These growing tensions would lead to a hush-hush meeting between the golfers and the PGA Tour executives, dubbed the Delaware Meeting. This meeting, masterminded by Woods and McIlroy, helped convince the PGA Tour to make sweeping changes to its structure that benefited players. McIlroy told Sports Illustrated that Delaware was very self-serving for the 20 players in that room. Meanwhile, the LIV Tour went on uninterrupted and even more top golfers joined in, including British Open champion Cam Smith, Mark Leishman and Joaquin Niemann, among others. LIV now had not one but 6 of the top 30 golfers in the official golf ranking at the time. While the PGA Tour remained adamant in its decision to suspend players and the DP World Tour took its own steps to rival the new competition, other tournaments didn't follow suit. In fact, the British Open made it clear that it would not ban LIV players from its 2023 competition. And so, in October, LIV Golf completed its first season with Dustin Johnson and his team winning the championship and a $16 million prize in Miami. Dustin Johnson reportedly took home a whopping $43 million that year. After such a successful first LIV season, top PGA stars from the Delaware meeting were calling for the two warring factions to come to an agreement. Would we finally have a truce after months of interbrand warfare, including LIV Golf's own frustrations with their application to the official World Golf Ranking, a DP World Tour legislative win against LIV Golf players, and a pending antitrust case between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour? The entire golfing world looked ready for collapse. But when all seemed to have gone beyond reconciliation, news of an agreement between the PGA Tour and the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund and the DP World Tour, formerly known as the European Tour, was announced. This was initially thought to be a merger, but the latter press release clarified that it was more of an alliance that would see the emergence of a new entity that would collectively own and benefit from LIV Golf, PGA Tour and DP World Tour broadcast rights, which would jointly be worth an estimated $8 to $10 billion, effectively ending the civil war. All pending lawsuits too were dropped, much to the PGA's relief. The deal was set to be finalised by the end of 2023, but that deadline came and went with no agreement, and as of March 2024, Monahan said negotiations with the Public Investment Fund were still in progress. So, what's the future of the two leagues? For now, the truce stands and the two sides are seemingly working on an agreement, but fans are naturally worried about the lack of a timeline and the secrecy of the talks. Moreover, the PGA Tour recently signed a massive $3 billion investment deal with Strategic Sports Group that would reward nearly 200 loyal PGA Tour members with equity in PGA Tour Enterprises, a new for-profit entity which many commentators see as the PGA's attempt to rival the Saudis financially in order to revive and hopefully win the war of golf. We are also yet to see the fallout for player loyalty, with many PGA golfers unwilling or unable to join LIV in its early seasons due to the threat of suspension, who missed out on potentially millions in earnings, only for the PGA to eventually join up with the enemy. The potential equity might sweeten a deal, but especially for the lowest earning players, the last few years have hit their wallets hard. How would you feel if you were them? What comes next for golf? Are we moving towards harmony, Or is the war only just beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in building an investment strategy to outperform the stock market, sign up to our newsletter where you'll get access to an exclusive course. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.